Hi and welcome to my channel, I'm Simon, and today I'm back with a sorting the shelves and sorting the library video. Now I used to do sorting the shelves on this channel every month where at the end of each month or the beginning of the following month I would sort out all the books that had come in that I'd bought or been sent by publishers onto my shelves, and if there wasn't space I had to get rid of some, be they new ones that had come in or be they ones that I'd had for a while. And I have not done that on this channel for ages. I started doing it over on Patreon with my lovely patrons whose support means the world. I started doing it monthly there. However, because I've been away so much over the last few months, I haven't done it for 3 months. And also, this is a bit of an added extra because I have been getting some bits and bobs to kind of not give the library a revamp or anything like that, because I don't feel like it needs it, but a bit of a freshen up, I guess, is what I'm thinking. I mean, sadly, one plant is no longer with us. Well, actually, no, that's not true. It's a bit, cut and dry, hit and miss? Anyway, it's on the line, and the resident plant doctor is sorting that out at the moment. So I have got some new plants that are going to come in. I've got a few bits and bobs of new furniture, going to take some pieces out, and I thought I would just document that for you all. It may be a bit confusing. It might not make sense to you all as I show you what books are on what shelves, but hopefully you will have fun along the way. We all shelve our books differently. This is just my way, and it's my way or the highway in here. What I'm going to do is give you some panning shots of what the library currently looks like in full before I get on with putting some books onto some shelves. So here we go. So on this side it looks fine until you get to the pile of books that I'm about to sort. However, a few plants have gone awry. One has been poorly and is in the plant doctors, and that one is a fig tree that has moved downstairs and is much happier in the lounge. So it looks clearer, but then you look at this, and then over on the other side of the room, hello, look, there's me, hi. On this side of the room, it's mainly been taken over by this plant, which I need to sort out. There's also a few wires which I don't like, and then I need to sort out this, which is an amazing library stepladder that my stepdad made for me, and then of course it's the books again. So it's not horrendous. I mean, it's a bit carnage on shelves and everything, and I need to sort out what's going on over there because more shelves will be heading over there. More books, sorry, will be heading over there. No more shelves, can't fit any more shelves in this room. But yeah, that's the state of play. So there you go, you saw the state, and you will have seen that there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 piles of books. I have managed to accumulate 3 because all the books here and here are books that, let me just show you, I have got double copies of. So I've either got proofs of these, or I've been sent copies of them twice, or with The Night Ship, for example, I got the paperback of that sent to me because I've got an interview with Jess in the back of it. So this is going to go downstairs actually, but the others will all go onto shelves that I have in the hall and in one of the spare rooms, which are for finished copies of books that I have proofs of in here that I will put on my shelves after I've read the proof. But that means that all of these, I'll show them again, these ones here, and also, 1 second, I nearly threw them on the floor, and also all of these can instantly just go onto those shelves, and that's perfect because it means I can make way for my book trolley, which definitely needs to sort out because some of the books on my book trolley need to go back onto the shelves because they're reading projects that I thought I was going to do that I just haven't got around to. I also haven't naughtily kept a video log, which I was going to do, of my book trolley, and what goes on it and what comes off it. And maybe that's something I could do in the second half of the year. Would you like that? Let me know. I say that like it isn't the second half of the year. As I'm filming this, it's Friday the 14th. So we are into the second half of the new year, but as you see this, second half of the year, but as you see this will be that much further ahead. I'm going to put these on the shelves and then let's get down to trolley. I have shown these before. These are the ones on the shelves. So there we go. You can't see what's down there because that's a piece of furniture that's going into the library soon. So that's my spare or finished copy spares shelves in the hall. And I also have them overflowing in this spare room. Oops. Right, so I've got my book trolley out. It's not a euphemism. I think maybe let's start at the bottom and work our way up. So I have these 3 books, which I have sworn for ages. All right, Oscar. I have sworn for ages. Yeah, okay. I am going to do a reading blog where I read these 3 books which Minnie Driver recommended for me. Well, she recommended me these 2 and she also recommended me Meg, Mason, Sorrow and Bliss. However, I'd already read it, so I'm going to read this one instead. They're going to stay where they are because that's still definitely going to be something I'm going to do. Then I had these 2 which were part of a reading blog I was planning to do for Tamor Summary's favourite debuts, but I thought that was a little bit unfair, so these need to go just onto the shelves because I still want to read them at some point, but I didn't think the debuts were necessarily a reflection of his reading taste necessarily. I have these 3 which Anton Her recommended me for a reading blog that I'm definitely going to do at some point, so let's keep those ones there. And then these ones were all books that I'd bought because I had read I'd read short stories by these authors in my short story advent calendar at the end of last year. Now it's been over half the year and I haven't read these yet. I do really, really want to read My Volcano though. So I think I'm going to put these back on the relevant shelves too. So it's making some nice space there. Then we have, I was going to do a video where I read all of, do I need to move this back a bit? You can see up my shorts, we don't want that. There we go, just gone at an angle, sorry. I was going to do a video while I was in Mexico reading all of the books by Sylvia Marina Garcia. Now I have read Gods and Shadows, so I'm not sure why that is still on the shelves. I haven't read either of these 2. They can go back on the shelves. However, this one can stay because, in case you missed the video or didn't watch it or whatever, this is going to be me and Pip's pick for the return of Crime Time. So that's actually going to be one that I'm going to put higher up. So I'll just put that there for now. Another vlog that I am definitely going to do, and actually I can take 2 books out of the piles of books that I need to sort to complete it, is a video where in Ayobami Adebayo's latest novel, her second novel, it's set into 4 parts and each of them have titles of these 4 books. Now the 2 I already had on my shelves are On Black Sisters Street by Chika Onwigwe and Sefi Atta's Everything Good Will Come. Definitely still going to do this, so I can pop those down here. And I had got the other 2 in, I think, April to head to at some point. So we have Teju Cole's Every Day is for the Thief. It's quite hard reading these the wrong way around. And also Helen Habilla's Waiting for an Angel. So they're going on to those bottom shelves as well. Carrying on with this shelf here, we have, I was umming and ahhing about doing a book that sort of featured horses on the cover because I have said 4 years since I used to blog back in the, 2010s or even possibly earlier, that I have an issue with horses and I thought that'd be really good fun. I haven't got around to it. I don't feel like it's one I'm keen to do right now necessarily, so they need to go onto the shelves. This is going to be quite interesting because there's going to be a lot of books going onto the shelves, I think. Then another video that I wanted to do is reading some of my favourite booktubers' favourite books from last year. So I have The Seas by Samantha Hunt, which both CJ reads, and also, I only watched her video earlier today, Iggy, literally Iggy, she raved about that one too. Lauren of Lauren and the Books raved about Slug by Holly McNish. And then Nathan of Nathan's Duck and also Jalen at the bottom of the bookcase really raved about The Sluts. And Ben of Benjamin's Journal really raved about Josephine Hart. I still want to do this, but I feel like I'm more likely to do a vlog of my favourite booktubers' books of the year so far. This feels like maybe, have we moved on from 2022? I don't know. Have we? Now let's go to the top shelf. No pun intended there either, cheekies. I have not read any more of that from Margaret Atwood's short stories. It's been on my shelves for ages, so much so, can you see? The sun has made the top bit go a darker colour. That's actually something I need to think about with books that stay on there for a long time. So this, I'm taking that out. If I want to reread it at some point, I will, and I'm going to put that over with the pile of books that need to go back onto my 2023 shelves, books that came out in 2023 or are coming out in 2023 if I've got them in advance. I wanted to read The Shooting Party by Isabel Colgate because I have had a massive love-in with Downton Abbey. And to be fair, I could do a video in the autumn about books set in big old houses because that feels quite like a nice thing to do actually. So maybe let's pop that down there and keep that there as a maybe for now. Then I had these books, which were all sort of, I guess, lesser known books by queer authors that I wanted to read for Pride. I mean, Maybe Lie With Me is a bit better known, but we've got 100 Boyfriends by Brontes Purnell. We've got Hugs and Cuddles by J.L. Gilberto Knoll. Giuseppe Caputo's An Orphan World, Lie With Me by Philip Besson, as I mentioned, Marlowe by J. Carmichael, and Inside Out by Joseph Munson. I'm going to put those back on the shelves because Pride's been and gone. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to read any more books by queer or LGBTQIA+ authors, because obviously I will, but I think I got into a random thing of like putting quite a lot of focus on needing to read them for Pride. And actually, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I'm queer all year round. I'm not only queer for 1 year of the month, so that needs to stop happening where I just do that. And it's the same with like anything like, I don't know, Black History Month. We shouldn't only be reading Black authors then, we should be reading Black writers all through the year. So, speaking of which, I have Namwali Serpel's The Furrows. Now, this was a book that I'd seen it on Obama's list and I thought, oh, I want to read it, but I kept expecting it to be on Prize list and it wasn't. So this will go on the shelves and I will get to it at some point soon. And then here we have some books that may well feature in other vlogs, because what I want to do is do a vlog where I read prize winners, and this recently won the Gillette Prize. Now, I have dipped into this and read some of it last year, but I didn't finish it, so I want to head back to it. It's None of the Above by Travis Alabanza. So that's a vlog I would like to do on prize winners, because that's won the Gillette Prize. And speaking of prize winners, I also have Georgi Kospodinov, Time Shelter, which is translated from Bulgarian by Angela Rodel and won the International Booker. I would like to get to that as a prize winner, as I would When We Were Sisters by Fatima Agar, which won it was on the long list for the National Book Award, but it also won the Carol Shields Prize, which is for Canadian and American female and non-binary authors. So that's one that I definitely want to get to. And then these books here are all from my import shelves. So I keep any books that I've bought from Australia or Canada or America and had sent over on separate shelves. Now, this is the set of shelves that I need to look at because they overflow. And so at some point, maybe I need to have like a phase where I just read imported books, but I will put these with the others. Now, I have a few other videos that I would like to make about particular authors, and one such author is Taylor Jenkins Reid. So ever since I read Carrie Soto last year, I have wanted to read pretty much everything that Taylor Jenkins Reid's, everything that Taylor Jenkins Reid has written. I find her writing like literary crack. I've never actually had non-literary crack, but there we go, because I just can't put them down. And so I thought, as I've read Carrie Soto and Malibu Rising and Daisy Jones, I've got the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo to go. And then I thought I could, once I've read that, like talk about those that are all in the same world and then have a reading blog where I read these four. So that's a possibility of another video I'd like to make. And another video that I'd like to make is me reading a series. It's something that I've not done, and it's something that I would like to do, something a bit different. And the series I'd like to read would be this series by Kate Moss. So we have, I found this word really hard to read, but sepulchre. We have, Labyrinth was first, sorry, I've got them out of order. Then we have Sepulchre, and then we have Citadel. And one, I have read her recent series of 3 books, although the 4th one is coming out in due course, so I haven't completed it. But 2, there's some fluff on there. Really want to head to this series after loving that one so much. And also when I saw Kate do her one-woman show, she talked about the premise of this one in particular. I was like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. If you fancy joining me on a binge over these, I think over autumny, like end of summer, autumn, then let me know, because that would be super good fun. Now I think that is going to fill that trolley. Well, not that whole trolley, but that's going to fill. No, it doesn't quite fit. There we go, still got a little bit of space. Oh, I didn't hold these up. These are all books that I had in that section that I was going to read for various different things and didn't get around to. So let's pop those back onto the shelves, and we can pop this one up here because I need to read it soon. As I do these books here, although it's going to be a reread in the case of two of them, the Emma Styles No Country for Girls and Black Butterflies by Priscilla Morris. These are the shortlisted books for the Wilbur Smith Adventure Writing Prize, which I am judging this autumn. So yeah, let's pop those up there. Oh dear. Oh no, it's going to go horribly wrong. Oh, I need to have something that wedges everything in the right place. Maybe I'll put that one down there. That has sorted my trolley, although it's also now added this pile and, oh for goodness sake, this pile. But we'll sort that out in a sec. I need to put this in the right place and get everything more wedged in, or secure, let's say. And if you guys want to see me update this as I go, let me know in the comments below. And you can see the trolley is now sideways, which I think will make a difference, because before the backs of the books were all facing out the window and now they're facing away from the sun. So there we go. Right, now to sort all of these out. As it's been 3 months since I last did this, I have put all of the books that have been sent by publishers or that I bought myself that are out in 2023 here. There is one exception in these 4 piles that I think I'm going to make, which is quite a bold one, and that is, actually I think that one totally goes there, but these books, or at least most of these books, I think have come out in paperback in 2023, but may have been out previously in hardback, so I need to go through those, and what I'm going to do then is add those to my trolley, because I need to be making much more of an effort to read the books that I buy as they come in, otherwise they'll just languish. So that's the next thing that I'm going to do, which may take me a little bit of time, and then I will pop all of these onto my 2023 shelves, which will need a bit of a rejig, and I think I'm going to have to take some of my Nana knickknacks off those shelves because I'm going to need more space. These I also put in date order of release, so I need to also do that. I have tried to put the press releases all in the right order already, so that means that I should be able to have a little bit of help with that, but some of them don't have press releases, so I need to then make my own, but like literally not write a whole press release. I literally put the title and the day the book's out, just so that I can keep them in order, because it helps my life just the tiniest of bits really. So that is what's going to happen next. I will just work out which of these books have come out in paperback this year, and then they can join those ones, and the other ones will go on to my shelves, and I need to get a crack in with reading them. I don't know, I need to work out what I'm going to do with that, because I don't want to make loads of rules, because I'll instantly want to break them because I'm a contrary Mary Fairy, but also I do actually want to address how much I'm reading of what's coming in as it's coming in. So yeah, I'm getting a bit better, because there are a few books that didn't end up in these piles because I had read them. So there's that. Anyway, let's get all of that sorted and we can catch up again. I've confused myself now. I don't know how confused you are. In fact, don't tell me that you're already really confused, because I'll find it disheartening. Moving on. Update. It was only these that had come out in hardback before, or in the case of Martha Maud, it's a republished classic, so it's a bit of a grey area, but I'm going to pop these onto the book trolley, and I think my aim is to read these by the end of August. I was going to say July, but as I'm filming, we're mid-July, so I think that's probably not giving myself a fair shot. But yeah, they're books that I'm going to head to very, very soon. I don't love a TBR, but if I have like a TBR trolley that I can mix around by whim and mood, I think it'll work. So maybe this is something I will report back on. We shall see. And I'm going to put those over there before taking on the mission of getting all of these in release date order. What am I going to do to keep those apart? Problem temporarily solved. Temporarily, whatever. So these shelves here, I mean, I should zoom out on them, are just next to the fireplace, and these are where I keep my 2023 books. And what I'm planning on doing actually is putting paperbacks that came out for the first time in 2023, be it that they went straight to paperback or they came out in hardback last year and then paperback this year, on that shelf there. That's what I'm thinking of doing, and then that should help. But I think I'm gonna have to move all of these in order to make some space. I should say I'm not going to film myself sorting out the proofs in date order with all the press release and stuff, because, well, it could be quite boring, but also it takes ages and it stresses me out quite a lot. So I'm just going to get that done, and I will show you the results of the shelves afterwards. Pray for Simon. Okay, that is all now done. So I'm happy with that. We've got the paperbacks there. I should say these are some of my childhood books, so I might move those into the library downstairs, office downstairs, sorry. How can I have two libraries? That's done. The only problem is I found 2024 books. So these are 3 books that are coming out in 2024 next year, and I have some more as well. So I need to know what I'm going to do about those, because I don't feel like it's time to read 2024 books yet. But maybe do I keep them in the office until, I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. Also, I did cull some books, but I haven't got rid of them. And I'll show you at the end what I'm doing with those, because I'm planning on doing something with my beta readers tier on Patreon. So that'll come in a little bit. Now, I'm going to next do I haven't got any crime novels that have come in, so that's my crime shelves there. I've got some poetry I need to sort, some classics I need to sort, and my imported books before I do any backlisted paperbacks that go on separate shelves. It'll all make sense as we go. But what I'm going to do before of that is have a fizzy pop, because I feel like I'm having a slightly jittery sugar load, because that literally took 2 hours. That was madness. I will do that, and I'll be back to talk about poetry and classics. I think we'll do next, and non-fiction. That's what I think we'll do. I'm back, and I've realised it's 20 to 8, so I need to get a wriggle on. If you don't have peach Fanta in your life, by the way, you're not living. I've also got pineapple Fanta downstairs. It's amazing. So let's do poetry and classics next. I shall get them 1 second. By classics, I mean things like the Virago Modern Classics and Persephone classics, of which I've got quite a few recently. Every time I see them secondhand, I always pick them up, and there's going to be a problem here because I have so many of them. I know they're not going to fit. I'll be able to sneak this on, but that's going to be it. So I think what I'm going to have to do at some point is a themed reading vlog, which I have been talking about a little bit, to be fair, where I read Persephone classics. Now, I'm not sure which ones I want to read, so that might be a addition to this later on, maybe like a catch-up thing, because I'm worried it's getting late and I want to get these on the shelves, and then it might be that I do the revamp tomorrow and have a look through my Persephone books then. But let's head over. But also, just to say, these poetry collections came in the last 3 months, but I'm also adding Slug by Holly McNish into that mix, because that came off the trolley. They're all on the same shelves, which I shall show you now. I mean, you've seen them already a little bit, because they've got my proofs for 2023 on, or books that are coming out in 2023, but let's reacquaint you with them. So these were the proofs in the 2023 books I showed you, and my childhood books, sorry. And then above that we have poetry here, and then we have the classics and a series that I was the commissioner on. So I can only fit probably one more Virago on, and then I need to maybe even take off a couple of those. Or maybe I'll just read the fulls that I've bought most recently. Oh, I don't know. I'll have a think about it, but that's what I'm going to do now, is jiggle all of that about. Jiggle, jiggle. So that's all done now, but I couldn't fit these 4 on the shelf, so I'm going to put them on the bottom row of the trolley, and then tomorrow I shall go through the Persephones that I have and see which 4 take my fancy. So I have to read those by the end of August. So I'll do that now, and then I'll check and see if I've got any non-fiction. I might have a couple. Let me check. There you go, they are down in the trolley. I do have some non-fiction. It is here. I have one that was on the trolley. I have one that I was sent by a publisher, and I have one that I bought. So they're going to go on the shelf behind me just here, which is my non-fiction, which I will scan for you shortly. Well, right now for you. Actually, I'll just show you everything that I have behind the sofa. So crime is all there. Then this is non-fiction here and here. And then this is my imported books here and here, along with some very naughty proofs from last year, which I know I'm going to have to move because I've got loads of imported books out. Sorry, there's my can of peach Fanta, not sponsored, promise. So yeah, that's what's going to happen now. This is going to be easy because I've got space, because I made some, because I moved a couple of the paperbacks that came out this year over onto the 2023 shelves. Job's a good one. Those are all done. There's even actually space for a hardback there. So there we go. In fact, there's a little bit of space on those two. So anyway, they're not organised in any way particularly. It's literally just size order. I think we're going to go on to these bad boys, which are my imported, and some sneaky proofs, which are going to have to come off. So I'll do that now, actually. There were a lot of proofs from last year, including some that I'm really shocked I've not read, like Young Mungo. Why have I not read that yet? The Rabbit Hutch, I've been wanting to read that for ages. Joe and I banged on about most of last year how much I wanted to read it. And then also two authors I read before and really loved, with Yara Rodriguez-Fowler and Czech Ruinzello. So yeah, I need to work out where I'm going to put these, but I'm going to put them down for a second because I want to get books on shelves, not just books off shelves. So now, time for all of the imported books, which I'll show you before I put them on the shelves again. Oh, 1 second. Here are the books that I have bought and had imported from different countries like Australia, America and Canada. In fact, I think these are mainly Canada because I've been having a love affair with Canada, having watched several series of Canada reads. And then also I have these ones which, I took off the trolley. So like my non-fiction shelves and crime, actually, everything here is all sorted by size order because it would otherwise possibly drive me insane. So I shall scan the shelves before I've sorted them, and then I shall scan them afterwards for you to have a look at. I am beginning to tire. So here they are before. I should mention that shelves just for McNally editions. There's also some smaller books here, so I need to sort that out because otherwise it's going to bother me. Anyway, I shall do that now. And we are done almost size-ish. And finally found somewhere to put the vase. Actually, I need to turn around because I like that to be a bum vase. Anyway, that's all sorted. Let's turn that around and then it really will be sorted. Oh, cheeky. There we go. Bums with my McNallys. Lovely. And so now, bum in the background, I will sort out all of the paperbacks so that I can get them ready to go on their shelf. Sorting the paperbacks out, I suddenly realised these all came out in 2023 and so did all of those in paperback. So they can actually go on my shelf above the proofs over there. Ignore these shelves, you'll see them shortly. But yeah, over there. So I'm going to do that first. They're not in order, but I will sort that out tomorrow along with picking which Persephones I want. Blimey, we've been here, there and everywhere. So much for that stormy, rainy day. It's gone really, really lovely. I think we're like almost at like 20 past 8. Anyway, when I was going through the paperbacks, I also found these 4, and these all have summer in the title, one of which is actually Patreon book club pick for August. And this I'm hoping to read with Katie James in the next few weeks. So they're going to go onto my trolley because they're ones that I'm going to head to soon for a reading vlog. I'll just lean over and pop them on right now. There they go. The other ones I had were the ones that came off the trolley. Oh, sorry about the lighting. And also 3 that I thought I was going to read but just haven't got to, that have been on my shelves before. And then the 3 that I bought myself in the last couple of months. I got Damon Galbraith's A Strange Dream in a second-hand shop. I bought The End of the World is a Cul-de-sac by Louise Kennedy because I absolutely loved Trespasses. And at some point I might try and get into White Teeth by Zadie Smith. Me and Zadie, we have a mixed relationship. I'm going to put all of those in alphabetical order and then I can put them on the shelves because it's one of the few places where I actually do that. There we go, that's done. I have to say I'm probably going to have to read this one and this one quite soon because they're smaller than all the others, and that slightly bothers me. But now I can put these all onto the shelves over there. I've just got to move one of the biggest plants in the world. This one, the keeper of the paperbacks, which I will now get sorted. There are some spaces, there's a tiny little bit of space where my turquoise polar bear is, but yeah, we'll see. But I don't know where she's gonna live. I'm definitely gonna move her, but right, anyway, that's not for now, that's for tomorrow. And they are done. Rosie the cat has had to move there. I've got no space for the bear. But yeah, done. And I'm not gonna lie, I am done for the day, but I'll be back tomorrow to finish sorting out the room, rearranging things, sorting out which Persephone books I'm gonna have as like a reading vlog, sorting out what I'm gonna do with all of these books that I took off my imported because they're proofs from last year, and then putting new furniture and things in and working out where this beast goes. So that will be tomorrow. But I hope you've enjoyed it this far. I mean, that'll be mere seconds for you, but yeah, there we go. That's the point I'm at. I'm knackered. It's 20 to 9. I've not eaten, and Love Island's on. I was going to watch Pearl, the horror movie, tonight, but instead it'll be a takeaway with Love Island. Morning everyone, and welcome back. I mean, you've hardly been gone for seconds, but I have. It is around lunchtime on Saturday the 15th, and I have had a chance to sort out the Persephone shelves and sort out the paperback books that came out this year. I did discover that a couple actually came out last year, so I need to work out what I'm doing with them, and I can't actually work out where I've put them. Oh, they're under here. But before I talk about those, I just want to mention I took these off my paperback backlist shelves yesterday, and that's because Sarah Taylor, Leela Savage and Louisa Salma are all authors where I've got a couple of their books but I haven't read any yet, and I think I need to start not attacking, that's a very strong term, although it feels a bit like that, attacking those authors where I've got quite a few, 2 or more of their books. Well, it would have to be 2 or more, wouldn't it, to be quite a few. 2 or more of their books, and I haven't read anything by them. That's got to change. So that's a little project I'm going to have for the rest of the year. I'm not putting a specific time limit on it, but there we go. So they're going to join some other books that I found in the proof editions that were naughtily on the imported shelves that shouldn't have been. This is probably making no sense to any of you at all. I mean, I'm hoping it is. If it's not, like I said earlier, don't let me know because that will make me upset. So, yeah. But the ones that I then took off the 2023 shelves were The Amusements, which did come out in 2023, but I remembered one, I think it's called The Irish Kerry Novel of the Year, and I want to read some prize winners for a reading vlog later on, as I mentioned. I think we'll get back to the book trolley and do an update on that in a bit. And then the other 2 were Maud Martha by Gwendolyn Brooks, which actually came out last year. I think I want to do at some point a video where I read Faber editions that have come out so far, these sort of re-released classics. And then the other one is The Whale Tattoo by John Ransom, which I bought in Gaze the Word last month and would like to get to soon. So they need to go onto those paperback shelves. So I'll just pop those down there. That trolley, I've got to remember that. Now, the Persephone shelves were very enlightening because as I was going through them, well, one, it turned out that I had bought in a second-hand shop a copy of a Persephone that I already had, and that's Despised and Rejected by Rose Alatini, which I think is one of the LGBTQ books that they publish. So I've got 2 of those. I then realised I also had 2 editions of Mrs. Bunkle's book by D.E. Stevenson, which is kind of one of the most famous Persephones, I think, and that they've done it in their original grey cover, but then also they do the Persephone classics in these gorgeous, I just love that cover. I'm obsessed with that. I think it's beautiful. And then the other one that I realised I had was 2 copies of Daddy's Gone Hunting, because I have the Persephone edition. I've also got the Manali Jackson edition. I think that is one of the most beautiful books I've seen this year. So I could therefore read these 3 in like a long weekend reading vlog or something, so that I can get those all off my shelves. Or I have read in order all of the Persephones up to number 13, which is Consequences by E.M. Delafield. And I was looking and I have number 13, Consequences, I mentioned. I have number 14, Farewell Leicester Square by Betty Miller. I have number 15, Tell It to a Stranger by Elizabeth Berridge. And I've got number 16, which is Saplings by Noel Stretfield. And I was thinking, do I just carry on reading them in number order? Is that another possibility for something that I could do? It means that I won't get to those other ones for quite a long time. But I did years ago when I was blogging say I would love to read them in order. So I think I'm going to probably put those both on the trolley for now, both sets of those Persephones, so that I can have a think about it and see where I want to go with it. The other thing I sorted is a pile of books for a project that I'm going to be doing on my beta readers tier on Patreon, which I shall talk to you about shortly. Oscar's on my lap though, so I can't really move or do anything for the foreseeable, and I would quite like to finish sorting this room. So Oscar, you may have to move actually. P.S. Spice up your life. Hey, Oscar's gone. I thought I'd just quickly show you the 3 piles of proofs that I don't quite know what to do with because I haven't got space on my shelves, but I don't want to get rid of them because I have these ones by authors where I've read stuff by them before and I would like to read more of their work. I can't believe I haven't got around to some of those, as I mentioned yesterday. Then I have this pile, which is just authors that I've not read yet, but I would really, really, really like to get to because I've heard amazing things about them. I mean, I've banged on about these 2 particular for ages. And then, as I mentioned, I have these books where I've got a few of this author's books on my TBR, so I would like to get to. Actually, that one here, I'm going to be doing a video on authors that I'm going to try giving a second chance to in due course. So that is that. Now, before I get the book trolley again to round off all of the book sorting before I then sort out the library, which will be very, very quick because I'm aware that this is quite a long video, frankly. I thought I would show you the one set of shelves that you haven't seen yet, and that you haven't seen yet. And that is the shelves that have the books that are, well, I'll show you. So we have these shelves between the windows in this room and the wall where this room used to be 2 rooms. And on the top row here, you've got books that are for my next wrap up, except for tomorrow, because I read that in July. And so, well, you'll have seen, I'll have done a May and June wrap up, so July will be coming soon. Then we have the books that are for my next haul, so my July haul. I'm aware there's 3 Kate Moss Ghost ships on these shelves, I know. Then here are where I keep my top 10 books of the year so far. That's about to change in that video I've gone live, so that's not really a spoiler. And then here is a shelf where I used to keep books that came in and I was like, I think I want to read them, but I'm not quite sure. Well, I've got a lot of those, and so I'm going to be doing a video or a series of videos on my beta readers Patreon tier where I try a chapter and decide whether I keep them or not, or put it out to my patrons to decide whether I should keep it or not. So there we go. What I'm going to do though is probably move that set now down here once I've got the new order, so that then I can have haul books on these 2 shelves and then keep my wrap-ups on that shelf. So there we are. There is a mild bit of organisedness in the madness. Also, do you like that draft excluder? Isn't it fab? Do you like my feather duster? And aren't my cacti ridiculous? I've got them everywhere. Anyway, there we go. We're sort of back where we started with the book trolley, and I've had a little bit of a tweak of everything. So I've kept the books that I've got to read for the Wilbur Smith Adventure Prize shortlist, because I'll be part of the judging panel picking a winner out of the shortlist, and that's happening in September. But these books I want to read before then, so I've kind of got in order of urgency-ish. I would like to read the Kate Moss ones at some point this autumn, possibly, so we'll have to think about that. We'll see how we go. Then I've got the prize books. Now, as I mentioned, The Amusements recently won a prize, so I'm adding that to None of the Above, Time Shelter and When We Were Sisters. And I remembered that God's Children Are Little Broken Things by Arinze Ifeakandu won the Dylan Thomas Prize, so I'm adding that onto that selection too. I need to go through and work out which prizes have been announced where I can't remember what won the readings prize, but I don't know if I want to do 2022 prizes still. I'm not sure. But that said, I would really like to, well, I'll add whatever wins the Miles Franklin Award, because that's getting announced soon. I was tempted to read the shortlist, but I'm trying to hold fire on that until I've actually read the shortlist of the prize that I'm actually judging. Plus, at some point, the Waterstones debut winner will be announced. But again, that's a shortlist. I would love to read all of the ones that I haven't, because I've read 2 that I've loved. Say 3 out of the other 4 I'm really keen to read and have on my shelf. So maybe. Anyway, but that's that. But one thing that is quite urgent as well is me reading these Persephone books. I'm going to put the 3 that I had doubles of up here, because I feel like, no, maybe that isn't the one that I'm most keen to do. I think I'm kind of keen, I'll put them there for now. I think I'm actually kind of most keen to do the one where I read them in order, possibly, from 13 to 16, maybe. So that's how this is all looking. And then down here, I've got the books that Minnie Driver recommended to me, the books that Anton Her recommended to me, the 4 books that are in Ayobami Adebayo's book, The Shooting Party, which I think I'm going to have to take that one off because I haven't got a reason to keep it on there particularly. And then the Taylor Jenkins Reid books that I haven't read yet. That is something else I'd like to do. And I'm going to, rather than giving myself like, oh, I've got to do everything by August, which I will do with some of them because I need to read them for like me and Pip's Crime Time, Patreon book club, a buddy read that I've got planned with Katie James. But I think with the others, it's kind of when the mood takes me. They're just little projects that I'd like to do, and maybe they will be projects that won't see the light of day, and maybe that's the sort of video that I should do, because I know that Kayla over at Books and Lala, she does that where she talks about videos that didn't happen, so that could be quite an interesting idea potentially. Anyway, that's how it's looking. The rest of the room is pretty much sorted with the exception of those proofs, which I think I'm just going to pile under the window there so that I've got them on my periphery and I know that I need to get to them at some point, but I'm not getting rid of them because I don't want to. And I think as well, like, what I'd really like, I was thinking about this earlier, is for where I have in the turquoise room the overflow of books that are, and actually now in the hall, books where I have a finished copy and a proof. By the end of the year, I'd like to see that being no overflow, possibly even some space, which is not a hard thing to achieve, but also just the same with a lot of the shelves. I'd like almost every set of shelves to have space, because also what I keep forgetting is at the end of the year, I've got to move all the books that I haven't read from my 2023 shelves onto the other shelves so that I've got space for the 2024 books, which, as I mentioned, have already started coming in. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been a little bit random and something a little bit different and probably a bit all over the place, but that is kind of this channel, I guess. I would love to hear any thoughts you've got in terms of which of the Persephone books I should head to. Are there any other themed reading things you'd like to see? Would you like me to do a book trolley update now and again? Would you like me to do a series of videos at some point on the videos that I don't make or anything like that, and why that is? Anything and everything, really. Just don't tell me that this is all madness, and yeah, because that would just mildly hurt my feelings. What I'm gonna do now is tidy the library. I'm gonna do some scanning shots of what it looks like when it's sorted. Editing Simon, there's gonna be an additional update after the scanning, so stay tuned after I say goodbye for that. And I will see you in another video very, very soon. Bye. Hey everyone, so it was looking gorgeous, the library, as you'll have seen in the panning, scanning, whatever you want to call it, shots. However, on Saturday, was out shopping actually for the spare room, which you'll see in another vlog. I'm turning that into a Persephone bookshop inspired room, and was looking for a thin, tall set of shelves that I could put all my Persephone books on in there. Any excuse to have another room where I can put bookshelves in, let's not lie. Didn't find one. However, I spotted this amazing pink chaise long. Chaise lounge? Chaise long? I never know which you meant to say. Anyway, I spotted this pink chaise long and just literally had to have it. And guess what? It's on its way. It's due to arrive any minute. And she's here. She's here and she looks amazing. I can't decide if I want to keep this one or put the beige one there. But yeah, I'm so thrilled. Like, she's incredible. Apparently she is, let's zoom in on her, 1800s. Obviously been recovered with the pink, but just so happy, so happy. Anyway, there we go. If I move that chair, I'll do another update. If not, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in another vlog very soon, or a video even. Bye!